After 55 memorable years, 19 as a jockey and 36 as a trainer, a living legend in the sport of horse racing, Kenneth "Kiddie" Mattis has hung up his colors.
I wasn't enjoying it anymore. So I said, if I'm not enjoying the sport that I love so much, I said, move on.
He got his first glimpse of a racetrack at age 4.
When I was a kid, around 4 years old, my grandmother took me to Kingston racetrack. Exercise one morning, I think, and she saw this grey horse, and she said she loved the grey horse with the winkers, that is the blinkers. And race day, she bought it, the horse, and the horse paid 9 shillings and 6 pence. I can remember that clearly. And that was a factory about it then. And from then, I fell in love with it.
He started riding in 1952 at age 15 after leaving St. Aloysius Primary School. Kenneth's exploits as a jockey are legendary, winning his first of 4 Jamaica derbies aboard Tam O'Shanter in 1957, before following with Princess Royal in 1961, Skia in 1966, and Buck Chaser in 1969.
Tam O'Shanter, I was told to put him in front by Mr. Graham and make every pool a winning one, which I did. And he won comfortable. I think he ran a record.
He started his illustrious career as an apprentice to W.A. Billy Pick, who remains rated as one of Jamaica's best ever jockeys. Mattis's apprenticeship did not last long, as after a year, he had won more than 20 races to lose his bug claim. His first winner was the appropriately named Booming Star, which was the springboard for one of local racing's most famous sons. As a jockey, Kenneth's name has been associated with some of the greatest thoroughbreds in the history of local racing, including Nonsuch, the horse after which the industry's annual awards ceremony is named.
Well, I must say I love Nonsuch, and I think he gave me the best ride. He couldn't stay, but he was a top sprinter, and he carried lumps of weight all around and beat the rest. So I regard him as one of the better horses I've ridden.
Throughout Nonsuch's 14 career wins, Kenneth was aboard the great sprinter on 13 occasions, establishing the best average of winning aboard one horse more often than any other jockey. Although he did not win a jockey's championship, Mattis enjoyed tremendous success and popularity, competing in a golden era against other greats such as Arthur Daddy Jones, Barrington Smith, Neville Cousley, Winston Nero Ellis, and Trevor Slicer McKenzie. He was most prolific in the Lonsdale Challenge Cup, the Jamaica St. Leger, with 5 victories, starting with Captain Goodenough in 1964, before reigning for 4 consecutive years from 1966 to 69 aboard Saratoga, Lamax, Oberon, and Buck Chaser respectively. Kenneth, who has the unique distinction of being the only 2-time inductee into the Racing Hall of Fame as a jockey in 1986 and as a trainer in 2001, rode 446 winners, including 15 classic victories, spanning 3 racetracks: Marley in Old Harbour, Knutsford Park, and Caymanas Park. Whereas his success as a rider was the stuff of legends, Mattis the trainer was near immortal, culminating in the government of Jamaica rewarding him for his contribution to the sport, conferring on him the National Honor Order of Distinction in August 2001. Later that month, he saddled his 1000th winner, LSC Choice, to become the 3rd trainer after Alan Billy Williams and Philip Fiani to achieve the feat. Mattis vacated the saddle in 1971, largely due to weight problems, and started training the following year. Written off as a playboy by doubting Thomases, Mattis not only proved his detractors wrong, but became one of the greatest to have ever tightened the girth. From his first winner as a trainer Rumster on April 12, 1972, to 1,077 winners and training 2 horses who went on to become household names, Legal Light and Royal Dad. But the road to training was anything but smooth, And like a fairy tale, the script reflects a happy ending. Mattis is the first to opine he could not have done it all by himself. There is an old adage, behind every great man, there is an equally great woman. A role that perfectly describes his wife Yvonne.
I said to him one day, why don't you start to train? He says, well, there is nobody to give many horses. I said, what about your friends? He said, everybody just talk and nobody come forward. So I said, listen, if you really, will you train? If I go to my brothers and their partner in business and ask them to give you horses, he says, yes. I went to my brother, both had 3 brothers and their partner, and I told them, and they said, okay, yes, they will. And that's how we got Aggregate and Burbella. And the 2 horses he started out with. I remember when he got them, one of his very, very close friends said to me, you're wasting your time. And I said, why you said that? He said, Kenneth is a playboy. He's not going to do well. And I said, okay, is that so? And I went and I told him. And I said to him, you know something? All I'm asking you, please don't let me down. And he never did.
However, just as he did as a jockey, Kenneth had to pay his due and wait his turn, as he came on the scene amid established trainers such as Alan E. Billy Williams, Paul Newman, Oswald Lee, Laurie Hussey, Ren Gonzalez, Arthur Sharp, Nigel Nunes, and the First Lady of Local Racing, Eileen Cliggott. It was his association with 2-time Horse of the Year, 1978 and 79 Legal Light that made Kenneth a force to reckon with as a trainer, opening the door for success with other runners such as Royal Dad and many others. Mattis acquired the legendary Legal Light from Billy Williams at the back end of 1977 and made the Big Chestnut an icon in local racing. Legal Light won 27 races from 53 starts, mostly under Hall of Fame jockey Winston Fanner Griffiths, who struck up a wonderful partnership with Mattis during the late 1970s and 1980s. With his training skills exposed by Legal Light, Mattis went on to win 8 championships, landing back-to-back titles in 1979 and 80 for starters. Upstaged by future greats Philip Fiani in 1981 and 1982, then Wayne DaCosta in 1984, Kenneth won the 1983 title before showing he was boss for 4 years in a row, 1985 to 88. Kenneth won 2 derbies as a trainer, first with the 1981 Triple Crown winner and Horse of the Year Royal Dad, who held the record of 11 consecutive wins before his sad death on October 16, 1982, when he collapsed and died on the track after winning the Governor General's Stakes.
Royal Dad was a game animal. He stays and he sprint. And he gave me a lot of memories until his untimely death. I was grieved, but life like that.
Mattis's other Derby winner was Diesel Legend in 1985. He won his last championship in 1990 when Kadula won the 2000 Guinness, St. Leger and Gold Cup.
Coming to the furlong ball, he has got the lead and he looks to be untouchable. Here comes the great Kadula flying. It's Regent Gold in the final 16th, hanging on. But Kadula now gaining with every stride. Regent Gold caught close on by Kadula and they've gone by. It's desperately close.
But it was the 1988 showdown against arch-rival Fiani that covered him in greatness. His stable star Shining Hour won 5 races from 11 starts, including 3 victories over Fiani's Derby winner Lucci Poo, keeping him in the hunt for a 4th straight title in 1988.
Struggle to the line, and now Barkley and Shining Hour look to have the nose in front of the line. It's not over yet in the Trainers' Championship.
With Fiani leading the championship on the final race day of the year, Mattis's filly, the 10-1 shot Ophelia, ran her heart out to finish second to Paper Chase in the Benson & Hedges Gold Cup, enabling him to beat his rival by little over $12,000. Similar to his charges, Mattis displayed a fierce edge as a jockey and trainer, not to mention a domino player. In 1998, Kenneth showed he still had something left in his tail when he saddled the filly My Lady Silk to an upset win over the Anthony Nunes-trained Terremoto in the Jamaica St. Leger, spoiling the Colts' Triple Crown party. Mattis's retirement has left a void in local racing as one of its most beloved sons, who rose from the grassroots to the pinnacle of his profession, both as a jockey and a trainer, has now been elevated to an elder statesman par excellence.
Racing is everything to me. I enjoy racing to the extreme, and I still enjoy this racing. It has made me so grateful to my friends and followers, and person sitting beside me.
Caymanas Track Limited, on behalf of its board and the entire racing industry and fans, wish to thank you, Kenneth, for all the wonderful memories and historic achievements you have left for us to cherish.
Hedges Gold Cup, he's the one. They all have to catch. Distinctive bingo beaten on the rail. Lady Geeter in the middle, the Viceroy on the outside. It is the smart-looking Regent Gold coming to the furlong pole. He has got the lead and he looks to be untouchable. Here comes the great Cattilla flying. It's Regent Gold in the final 16, hanging on. But Cattilla now gaining with every stride. Regent Gold, fourth place. Oh my Cattilla, no go by. It's desperate. Regent Gold has the winner. It's very, very tight. Martin Sharper is in the Gold side. The final one coming in. Returning to the winner's enclosure, the two horses figuring in the photograph, Regent Gold number 13 and Kadula number 11. Finishing third, number 7, Lady Geeta. Finishing in fourth, number 8, Bargain Shopper. Now in the winner's enclosure, Regent Gold. Carl Brown, who won the race of Stride Secret some years ago, feels he has won it, while Trevor Simpson is still waiting to come inside with his mount. Kadula. Infection is let down and coming forward, third to his Regent Royal, but after 316, it is Diesel Legend, 4 to 5 lengths clear. On Infection leaping at him with Winston goes the board. Regent Royal is there on the outside third. Diesel Legend here over Infection and Regent Royal as they come, racing with just over a 16th to run. And Diesel Legend upsets Infection and Regent Royal. It's going to be a 1-2 for Mattis, but it's Diesel Legend with Ramji standing tall, the Prince of Derby. It's Regent Royal second, Infection third. Still the well fought, number 5 behind them, Lord London, Rangers choice and down, Hobson's choice and superlative. Then came Son of a Gun, Lashanda's Devil, Prince Raphael, Bull Pocket and last of all top spot where Diesel Legend has galloped himself into the record books. He put any and everyone in their place this afternoon with a crippling move, 6.5 furlongs from home that put paid to the chances of all. Regent Royal gained the narrow ascendancy over Effectual in the last 50 meters to get second. Effectual running much better than the Governor's Cup performance was third today, but indeed on the day, and probably from here on in, it's Diesel Legend that they'll be have to talk to, and he looks the ideal host to go and represent Jamaica at Caribbean level. So it's Diesel Legend, a Derby winner from 6.5 furlongs out. Ramjeet was standing tall and making it look very, very ridiculous indeed in the final 50 meters, waving to the large crowd before he landed his first Derby winner. So Kenny Mattis gets his second. The Triple Crown jewel goes to rest with Regency Royal second here, but Mattis wins his second classic of the season. And the 1-2 finish looks to